forum in the back if you haven't spoken before. Every person that wants to come up is allowed 5 minutes to speak. Please keep your conversation civil and comply with the decorum that we published both on the doors and also provided a copy of it in the back of the room. Having said all that, I invite up today Mr. David Perkins.
Hello, Range County. Is this thing? Oh,
It's there.
Well, first I want to report on the Sister Cities program. By the way, Emory is one of the smallest towns with the Sister Cities program. Cities like Fort Worth or Chicago have one. We're working with a town to develop its Szczecin. It's in southeastern Poland. And I've invited the mayor to come here. Of course, it'll be at his convenience. But I suggested that he come during the county fair, which I think is something the time that we really showcase the county. And of course, we'll see when he can come. By the way, it's the mayor of the town that's in charge of education in Poland. They don't have a school board. It's the mayor of the one. So I hope to get with the school board and they can exchange information. Also, since we don't have a chamber, I've tried to come up with a solution for that, and that is we'll have a page on Range County Radio where we will list every business with a link and image, kind of like a Yellow Pages, but an online thing that you can come to and see all the businesses that are listed. But also to have, I don't have a name for it yet, so maybe somebody can help me on this. Like a community experts, like if somebody does woodworking, I know some people at the senior center that they do all kind of wonderful work and everything, but to have them listed too, because I think if we have some time of troubles like shortages or supply chain things that shut down, that we may need a lot of repairs and stuff, and I think it would be good that everybody in the county have access to know who does those types of repairs, things like that. So that's what we're doing. And then, how much time I got?
You have
Just under 3 minutes.
2 minutes
Under
and
3
57
minutes?
seconds.
Well, good. I want to give a testimony since you mentioned testimony. When I was up here a while back, I mentioned about the tunnel, and you said that was creative, which I appreciate the comment. Now, I made a shocked expression, not because I was getting a compliment, but because I didn't think that you would make a comment, because I don't think you guys are supposed to make a comment on that. But you made an interesting comment, which said, I do that. Well, no, I said after that it was from God. And I want to give a testimony on how that happens. And actually it comes about in Poland. I was in Poland, and of course, they just threw the Russians out, and they wanted to make English the second language. So as I mentioned, the mayor is the one who's in charge of education. He says, we go around the region and just talk to people. This is for the internet. And just so they can hear a native speaker. Of course, I said, you sure you want them to hear English in a Texas accent and learn it that way? But they went ahead anyway. So anyway, gave me a book. And it was Murphy's Grammar, not like most people, grammar, no, I don't want to do that. But to be polite, I sort of thumbed through it, and a page caught my eye, and that was Articles with Time. And I said, wow, time and space, I didn't know grammar did this. So I read that page, and then I went on tour, and sure enough, they were asking me, like, why did they teach people to smile at McDonald's? I mean, we're answering all that. And then some kid asked me, how come you say on Thursday, but at 5 o'clock? Because you see, in Poland, they only have one article. We have 3. So I looked him in the eye and I said, well, we use at for specific points in time, at noon, at 5 o'clock. We use on for days and dates, on Thursday, on March 15th. And we use in for anything longer than a day, in July, in 2012. Now, I would not have known that if I didn't look at that page the day before. That's not me being smart or anything. That's the Holy Spirit telling me, look, David, look at that and do that. So if ever I come up with an idea, I'm going to testimony this all Range County. It's not me, it's the Holy Spirit, truly. So don't laugh when I come up with a crazy idea. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Mrs. Hayes? And I forgot to ask earlier to do this, but please state your name and where you live, and we can get started.
Well,
Just for the public to know on our
I'm
recording.
Janine Hayes, and I live in Rains County, but I'm down on the border toward Alabama.
And then move that mic down just a little bit for me. There you go.
But anyway,
Don't let the mic intimidate you. We just have to have it for the recording. That we're recording it.
I'm here on behalf of the Poppers in the Park that the Women's Service Club has put on for the past 12 years, and we're on the agenda. We are on the agenda, and I just wanted to make sure that y'all approve that and get us on fire.
Okay. Well, good. And you can come again. You can come again and speak if you want to. I missed that earlier, so I apologize. But you can speak now or later as well. You can speak.
Just like you, it's my turn.
Come on.
Okay.
Yeah. Mrs. Money? Norma Mooney, I'm sorry. Norma Mooney. Anywhere you want to stand, yes, ma'am. Provided the mic's towards your mouth.
Right, Judge and Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this morning. My name is Norma Mooney, and I reside on County Road 2310 here in Emory, and I'm here today in support of Gunner's Mission, Brittany's endeavor, and to share my recent experience with abandoned animals in our county and the challenges related to animal control. Several months ago, we were shouldered with the responsibility of caring for 2 abandoned dogs. While we did not seek this responsibility, we felt it was the right thing to do to provide for them until we could find a proper home for them. This came with significant and unexpected expenses, including having the female spayed and vaccinated, not to mention the feeding expenses and equipment needed to care for these animals. Just recently, the male dog that we were taking care of was attacked by a roaming pack of neighborhood dogs, which is an issue in and of itself. His injuries were severe, in which he received over 24 deep puncture wounds and required veterinary care, including stitches, drain tubes, medication, and confinement for up to 2 weeks, as well as having him vaccinated. This was not something that we were financially or logistically prepared for, but again, we chose to do what we believed to be the right thing. During this time, I contacted more than 50 organizations seeking assistance in rehoming these animals. Those that responded were either at capacity or unable to help. Animal control shelters in the surrounding counties told me that they could only accept animals from their own jurisdiction. My husband and I also reached out multiple times to our local sheriff's department, but was told there were no available resources to assist. I also posted on several Facebook rehoming pages and no success there. Eventually, I found Gunner's Mission and communicated with Brittany, and she was willing to help and took in the younger female dog. And from what I understand, has since been rehomed successfully to a loving home. And we're very grateful for that. We continue to care for the other injured dog, and he's now fully recovered, but unfortunately, space at Gunner's Mission is now limited. And again, we're without options to try to find a place for him. My experience highlights a serious gap in resources for abandoned and stray animals in Rains County. Residents of Rains County who want to do the right thing are left without support or resources, and an organization like Gunner's is doing what they can, but they cannot carry this burden alone. I respectfully ask the court to consider ways to support animal control resources and a local rescue effort like Gunner's and Brittany's endeavor, which has undertaken a huge responsibility to address this situation and is committed to making this a successful endeavor so that situations like mine and my husband's are not falling entirely on individual citizens. This county needs to consider every possible avenue of support to assist in this undertaking. Thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, ma'am. Speaking of, Miss Brittany Hughes. Good morning.
morning, Judge, Commissioners. Can you hear me? Thank you again for letting me speak. I reside at 445 FN 2737. Since the last time Holly and I spoke, she's not able to be here today, we've made significant progress in a very short amount of time. At that time, we were still in the very early stages. We did not have an EIN number, we had no website, and we were just beginning to build the foundation of what the organization could become. Today, I'm here to tell you that we now have our EIN. We have officially filed with the IRS for our 501c3 designation, and we are moving forward the right way, legally, transparently, and with long-term sustainability in mind. Operationally, though, we have not slowed down. Since I last spoke, we have taken in and rehabilitated 5 extra dogs, 2 kittens, and 1 rabbit. We no longer have the rabbit. We've successfully completed
Don't tell us.
Well, rabbits are rabbits.
Okay, they run.
Yeah, that's ran off. We
The dog
successfully
didn't get it.
completed 3 adoptions, and we have 3 more successful adoptions scheduled for this weekend, with space to open, hopefully to take another one from Mrs. Newman. This is a real movement. This is real impact, and that is being done without a facility. This is in my home, on my time, and my own personal resources. Holly and I are both working full-time jobs. I'm an active duty Army member, and she runs a sanctuary out of Toronto, so she knows what she's doing. And then we come home and continue working late nights, researching laws, coordinating care for animals, and building something that this community does not have. And despite those limitations, our community has stepped up in a big way. We have received donations, support, people willing to help. The need is there, and so is the willingness to be part of the solution. I understand that the county has limitations financially and structurally. I understand that funding is tight and that a facility is simply not going to be provided. But I also want to be clear, I'm not standing still while we wait. We are actively working toward immediate and scalable solutions. One option we prepared to move forward is with utilizing existing property to begin intake and housing operations much sooner than building from the ground up. We are also working with a builder who is willing to construct an entire building at cost, no extra fees, which allows us to significantly reduce what it would normally take to get something operational. In addition, we are developing a mobile outreach component using a camper that can be converted into a low-cost vaccine and basic care clinic. This allows us to go directly into the community, provide preventative care, and reduce the number of animals entering crisis situations in the first place. We're also working to establish partnerships with a transport company to transport dogs, cats, animals out of our county and even out of our state. There are much more higher demands up in the East Coast. At the same time, we're also planning for a long-term solution. We've identified a 29.9 acre property that already is fully fenced, has water access, existing structures, and is already ready for development. It has the capacity to support properly designed facility with room for expansion, training areas, and long-term sustainability. I am not asking the county to purchase this property. I just want to show you that there is viable, ready-to-go solutions that do exist, and we are actively working towards securing them through partnerships, funding, and community support. This is not just about rescuing animals one at a time. This is about building a system, intake, care, prevention, transport, and placement that actually gets ahead of the problem instead of the knee-jerk reaction that we've been seeing lately. We cannot do it alone, but we already are doing the work. What we are asking for is continued support and collaboration and direction from this court. Whether that's helping us navigate partnerships, identifying possible funding avenues, or working towards a service-based relationship in the future, we are ready to align with the county in whatever way that makes the most sense. When you're considering the budget for next year, please consider Gunner's Mission, because there is a need. We are already investing our time, our money, and our energy into this mission. We are not asking you to build something from nothing. We are asking you to work with something that's already in motion, because the problem is not slowing down, and neither are we. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. McKenna Clark Covey.
Good morning. I am McKenna Clark Covey. I'm at 222 County Road 4269 in Spring Creek neighborhood. As I mentioned, my name is McKenna Clark Covey, and I proudly call Rains County home for the past 2 years. My family and I chose this community because we believe that in a small country, we came from the city, people work together, that neighbors support one another, and doing that still matters. In my professional life, I work for a nonprofit pediatric hospital where compassion and responsibility guide everything we do, especially for those who cannot advocate for themselves. That same sense of responsibility carries into my personal life. Over the past 2 years, I have personally helped save and rehome over 30 dogs. There have been times where I, very much like Brittany, were caring for up to 8 dogs at once, using my own money to feed and support them, and by no means am I a billionaire. I've done this during a season of life when I don't exactly have extra time because I'm also raising a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old. I share that because I would like to give you a real picture of what kind of work this looks like. It's not easy, it's not convenient, but it is necessary. There are animals in this county that need help, animals that without intervention would have no safe place to go, and much of that responsibility falls on individuals and small organizations like Gunner's Mission who will be willing to step in. Again, that's why I'm here today to support Gunner's Mission and Pet Sanctuary. They are operating in the same capacity that I am, stepping in where the need is, providing care and taking on the responsibility of animals that would otherwise be left without options. The difference is they are trying to do it on a larger scale and meet the growing need in this community. This is not about lowering standards, it's about recognizing the reality of the need and supporting those who are actively going to meet it in a responsible way. Because without efforts like this, the burden doesn't disappear. It simply shifts, often onto individuals like myself, or worse, into situations where animals are left without care at all. I chose to build my life here, I'm raising my children here, and I believe Rains County should be a place where we support solutions, where we work with those who are trying to help, not against them. So today I respectfully ask that you consider that perspective, to recognize the need that exists in this county and support the responsible efforts like Gunner's Mission that are working to meet that need. Because the reality is, this work is happening with or without support. And when it's done with structure, intention, and community backing, everyone benefits, especially the animals. I would like to give a very specific example of the rehab here in Rains County. I, again, live in Spring Creek neighborhood and drive past it every single day. Multiple times a day, taking my kids to daycare, and it had been brought to my attention. I was feeding dogs at the post office. Lo and behold, had learned that they were actually living at the rehabilitation center here. At the time, there were 5 dogs, 3 females, 2 males. Female dogs are in heat every 6 months, so you do the math on how many potential puppies 3 female dogs can have in a span of 2 years. I have since rehomed every dog there, minus 1. Had I not have rehomed these animals, there would be a minimum of 20 dogs at that rehab right this second. They are impeding, obviously, care that is being provided to there with a pack of dogs running around. They have caused issues with the neighbors that live there, with people trying to visit their loved ones in the home. Kids have been chased. It is of no wrongdoing of the dogs because, unfortunately, they believe that this facility is their home, whether they were raised there, dropped there, birthed there, whatever their situation was, they called it home. So for them, we as people were the intruders, not the other way around. Again, I have since single-handedly myself got all of these dogs and rehomed them, and there is still 1 remaining. Even this morning, I have passed a very freshly deceased dog on 19 and fed this dog at the rehab this morning, and I'm trying to catch a white, I don't know if anyone knows anyone that lives near Planters, but has a white Shih Tzu. It's running around, or it's been running around. It seems to not have a home because it can't see. It's so hairy everywhere, it can't even see. But all this to say, again, this is the reality that the community is. Individuals like myself and Brittany are trying to pick up the burden of all the animals here, and we are asking for, like she said, support, not anything from ground up, but to be a helping hand in us to help everyone. That's all I have today. So thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Jay Ford. Keep the group together.
Good morning, Jay Ford, resident of Rains County. Judge and Commissioners, I have two topics today. I have a prepared statement that I will hand in to you as well. First one is regarding the 391 Commission. So I'd like to follow up on the two public hearings held March 9th and March 12th regarding the potential formation of a Chapter 391 Regional Planning Commission for Rains County, or the option of joining neighboring Van Zandt County's commission. This is an important issue that impacts many aspects of the county's future, including planning, development, and local control. The public engaged in good faith through the hearing process, and those hearings gave the public an opportunity to learn and provide input. But since then, there's not been an agenda item for this on the court to discuss or take action on this matter. I believe it's appropriate for the court now to take the next step. Given the importance of this decision and for the future of Rains County, I respectfully request that this item be placed on the agenda for your next meeting so the court can have a formal discussion and provide clear decision on how Rains County intends to proceed. Now, I'd like to focus your attention on the new nonprofit organization, Gunner's Mission Pet Sanctuary. I think you've seen today that there's a lot of support for this, and I'm also a very big supporter. This organization was started by a young woman here in Rains County, Brittany Hughes, who you met, and as she mentioned, is also active duty military, which we should respect. After the loss of a service dog, she was quickly joined and supported by a new friend, Holly Miller. And as you know, as Brittany mentioned, she is a dog trainer and also has a sanctuary of her own in Canada. What they discovered during the search was something that many of us have seen firsthand: a growing issue with stray, neglected, and potentially dangerous dogs in our community. In just a short period of time, they've already taken in and rehomed a significant number of dogs, entirely out of their pockets. They've stepped in, frankly, where currently little structure to support in place at the county level. This is not just an animal issue, it's a public safety issue, a quality of life issue, and something that impacts our residents, agricultural community, and even our sheriff's department. I understand that there may not be funding available for the current budget, and I'm not asking for that today. What I would ask the court is to consider ways to support this effort without direct expenditure. A couple of things that just popped into my head. One, utilizing the county's grant writer to identify and pursue grant opportunities that may not be directly accessible, to them. Is this something that only the county can apply for? Is there something that we can do there that Ms. Hopkins can potentially help with to get grants for? Also, helping connect this nonprofit with funding partners, including companies, new companies that are coming in that may be looking for ways to help their image in the county. Names that come up like Barrett Solar and Majewski Storage. They don't have the best reputation in the county right now. Maybe they want to make a contribution. Maybe we could make introductions to them for them. Also, generally recognizing and supporting this effort as part of the broader solution that we all know exists. A successful nonprofit partner like this could ultimately reduce the strain on county resources while improving safety and outcome across the county. I encourage the court to engage with them and explore how we can work together towards a solution.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Suzette Rogers.
Good morning.
Morning.
Suzette Rogers.
Would you see if that mic will turn on? I don't know. It looks like it might have died. Jeremy doesn't like to talk.
That's okay. We won't answer it.
All right. Thank you.
Address is 1960 RS County Road 3425 for sheriff. Well, one question I've asked week after week or meeting after meeting, Judge Hilliard, do you have the number of residents that live within 2 miles of the proposed pest facility?
Yeah, as I mentioned to you in the phone the other day, my staff is working on that, but they don't have it ready yet. And I want to remind the public, when I volunteer to do that, it's something that I'm paying for individually. The county's not paying for it, and I'm using my own existing corporate staff to do it. So you just have to bear with us on getting it completed.
Okay, well, it's been a few.
So I can cancel it if you want me to, if you're impatient about it. But, well, we had a conversation this week about it, so I'm going to come up here in court.
Okay.
So,
And I'm asking, has the court received any more applications for permits or anything with, for BESS, solar, or data centers? Anything that you guys are aware of yet? Nothing? Are you guys aware of Gillespie County had a lawsuit and they intervened in litigation to block the construction of battery storage facility in Harper? You guys aware of that? Okay. It said the officials argued BESS fires can release toxic gases and are extremely difficult to extinguish. They pose safety restrictions. The lawsuit sought a temporary injunction stopping construction, possibly a permanent ban on the project. So you guys can do some research on that. If there's something we can do for Rains County, that would be appreciative. And I was asked about to do some research on Matrix Renewables, and somebody else actually did this research, so I'll give them credit for it. But Matrix Renewables is owned by it's a company out of Finland, and their portfolio shows extensive procurement from cattle, which are the Chinese parts in the batteries. They do have other batteries that have Tesla and Samsung, so I'm asking the court, can we go ahead and make for Matrix Renewables, get a list of their components now, so we can do additional research? Because if their portfolio is primarily Chinese parts, so they may have more in there. I know they said that they're using Tesla. I think it's up in Corey, they're using Tesla. I've done research. The car batteries seem to have cattle parts in there or Chinese parts in there. I can't find anything yet on the large battery storage ones. So if the small ones have it, the big ones probably do too. So if we can start getting a list, I'll have to do whatever research I can to find out.
okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. All right. Any other public? I don't have any more forums up here. Did I miss anyone? Or okay. That concludes our public testimony. Our presentations on our agenda today. The first thing on our agenda is the consent calendar. Is there a motion to consider that consent calendar?
I move we approve the consent calendar, which includes payable accounts of $412,532.37. And also, I would note that in the consent calendar, there is recognition from TAC risk management of our zero lost time in 2025, which is kind of a testimony to our safety that our people engage in.
Have a motion to approve the consent calendar. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. That motion passes unanimously. Next is to take action on and discuss the approval of a replat for North Shores. Is there a motion for that?
I'm going to say I'll move to approve the replat for North Shores.
Have a motion to approve the replat of North Shores. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Have a second. All those in favor? Any discussion?
Hey, I will just say real quick, it is looked at. Jason called me, sent me an email about it. We talked about it. They bought 2 1-acre lots. They're just putting them into one.
Okay, very good. All those in favor? Aye. Discuss and take action on passing a resolution to apply for the Texas Historic Commission grant with a 50% match. Is there a motion on that?
When we discuss,
We have a motion to
we got
discuss.
an email this morning.
Okay.
Second.
Second. All those in favor to discuss it? Aye. That passes. Please proceed, Mrs. Hopkins.
All right, so the Architectus said that we should not apply, and then we talked to the window guy, and he said that if y'all go with him, like I previously discussed, that they would do a test for free to see if anything had been used, any raw materials have been used on it. So the reason they said not to apply is because the testing wouldn't be back in time for the application, and it would be needed to apply. So basically no action.
So we'll not be applying for that grant.
Right.
That's what I thought your email said this
Yeah.
morning.
If we waited a year, does the grant open back up?
It does open every year, but it's a pretty lengthy process. After talking to THC, you have to have the testing results back. You have to have shown that you've gone to the previous window installer if, in fact, they did use the wrong materials or the wrong sealant or whatever, and made an effort to have them reimburse the funds first.
Yes.
So we might. You can wait a year if you want to when you do the testing. And either way, go that way if you want to. Either way.
The other side of that is we continue to have damage
Yeah.
to the courthouse until it's resolved.
So, but there just will not be enough time this year to do testing and get results back before we apply.
I move we take no action.
Have a motion to take no action on item number 2. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously. Discuss and take action on passing a resolution to apply for the 27 MVCPA grant with a 16.67% match.
Move to approve.
Have a motion to approve.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. That passes unanimously. Discuss and take action on using SB 22 funds to purchase $5,244.33 in upfitting equipment for an F-150 patrol vehicle.
So this was a patrol pre.
Is there a motion on
Oh,
that?
sorry.
I'll make the motion.
Have a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. Discussion?
This is a patrol vehicle of previous use by admin that they're wanting to make into a patrol with a cage in it. And we have Senate bill funds. We should have Senate bill funds more than that left over for equipment.
Yes.
That we already have the grant for.
And where is that vehicle going to be sent to?
I want to say it's going to be to this local one called, can't remember the name of them, but one of the local ones, either near Sulphur Springs or near Rockwall.
Not the one in Louisiana.
No, not the Louisiana one.
Yeah, I was just making sure.
Yeah, and it's pretty simple. They're just putting a cage in it and maybe a gun lock.
I got you.
Yes. And the funds are available.
Funds are available.
Yes, sir.
Perfect. Thank you for arranging that. All those in favor for that? That passed unanimously. Thank you, ma'am. Discuss and take action to approve the Veterans Parade on the Courthouse Square on November the 7th of 2026. Motion on that?
I move we approve and waive the fees.
Have a motion to approve and waive the fees.
Second.
Have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Can I say something, please?
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
We're in the early stages of putting the parade together. We have an opportunity. There's a company out of Fort Worth that does these huge balloons and things for parades and whatever. Well, they've offered to bring one of those balloons and set it up here. It's about 20 feet tall. They'd set it up on a Friday. On a Friday, and then they wouldn't take it down till Monday. Well, I went to the Medal of Honor parade in Gainesville this weekend, and for the first time, I've been going 20 years, and for the first time, they had snipers on 3 of the buildings. They had dogs sniffing around the cars, and I know a lot of that's necessary, especially for a town that size, but there's a lot of changes going on in the community as far as security.
You want her to
We
state her
will
name?
have an officer.
Would you come up here, please?
For, pardon me?
Would you come up here, please? I'm going to have some questions for you on that. After you bring that up.
Like I said, we're in the early stages.
Start your name for the public. I know your name, but the
Hi, I'm
recording
Lana
device.
Carlisle. I live in the county off of Highway 69. We are in the early stages of putting together the Veterans Parade. And I think it's gonna probably be the best parade because we're celebrating also bringing in things for the 250th anniversary.
Okay.
And so anyway, we've been offered the use of this eagle. And, they would set it up right in, let's see, I believe on this corner of the courthouse.
So it's like an inflated balloon.
Yes, sir.
Is it tethered to the ground, I guess?
It's 20 feet tall.
Okay.
And, I've lost my train of thought.
Something about the
But,
snappers,
we
that's what
may
got
not
my
even-
attention.
I beg your pardon?
The snappers is what got my attention.
No.
What about the snappers?
Okay, well, I was surprised, and like I said, I've been going there 20 years to this parade and the book signing they have, and it's just something very special to me because of several years back, I had a grandson that was terminally ill, and I went to a book signing, and the First World War I veteran, the only one that was left, signed this book, and the fundraiser happened in Rockwall Heath, because that's where they live.
Okay.
And so anyway, I've been going ever since, and it's a blessing, but this is the first year I saw the security.
Why do you think the security was there?
I beg your pardon?
Why do you believe the security was there?
I think the way the country is, what's going on in the country,
And that was in what city?
in Gainesville.
Gainesville. Okay.
Mhm. There were about 13 Medal of Honor recipients there,
Okay.
and
And are you going to have any of those types of people at the event that you're planning for the
no,
veterans?
sir, we can't afford them.
Okay.
They're,
So maybe the security was there for the protection of those veterans.
I think it was for the protect, because they had dogs going around all the cars.
All the cars. Okay.
So maybe so for the veterans, but also for the public. I think it was also for the public. But anyway, I'm not even sure if we'll really use the balloon because things keep changing. And because we want to put the Statue of Liberty out and the Liberty Bell, and we're going to have the school, the drama club, they're going to reenact things, and I think it's going to be a really good parade. I'm real proud of it, but there's so much, and everybody thinks it's early, but it's not early to put on a parade. And then we have our Grand Marshal, which is Karen Young this year, because a Grand Marshal is about service. And I chose her because she has done so much for this community through the years. And I know when I was going through that several years with my grandson, she was a pillar for me.
Okay.
And so, anyway, but I don't know about taking it down because the parade's on a Saturday. This thing will be up until Monday, and it'll have a light, so at nighttime it'll show up when
The
everybody's
eagle.
on.
Yeah.
Okay.
The eagle will be out.
Yes.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. So
So what do y'all think about the balloon? And
what I think is I'd like to get the sheriff's department, the sheriff to call Gainesville and find out why that security was necessary, just to be
Okay.
sure that our public's protected.
Mhm.
And then we can maybe make a better decision. You know,
Okay. Well, we have to have an officer on duty for the parade.
I understand that the snipers and the
Yes,
dogs
sir.
and all that stuff,
Yes,
Franks
sir, I
County doesn't have all
understand.
that. So that I just want to understand the security risk of it. And I think the sheriff's department would be the best party to
Can-
assess that.
Can I ask a question too, as far as the who actually owns that Eagle balloon?
It's Bull Pen Promotions.
I think the only my mind immediately runs through if you guys decide to use that, I think it's an awesome idea. I would like to see something from them that reduces the county's liability if something were to happen to that we're not on the hook for.
Okay.
We'll have to have a separate contract with them and
Yeah.
insurance and all the things that go along with it. But before we go there, I'd like to understand the security risk of it.
Okay, I have one more question about insurance. You just mentioned insurance.
Uh-huh.
Now, I was told, I went to the city and I was told I didn't need insurance for this parade because everybody has it. This is what they said. Everybody has their car insured or supposed to have their car insured, and they can use, if there's an accident or hits, then they can use their insurance. Now, I have insurance for the golf ball drop that's going to be at the, is that right?
If it's something on the courthouse property, we would like to have insurance in place to protect the county. If it's something on the streets, we don't control what happens
Okay,
in the
that's what I
streets.
needed to know.
But if it physically is going to be sitting on this property,
Yes,
we'd like
sir.
to have a written contract that would allow for us to be protected.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Yeah.
So many
Well-
things have changed since we first started doing parades.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, anyway,
Well,
that's it as far as.
I would even maybe go as far to, and Judge, tell me if I'm wrong, just go as far as whoever has
Yes, sir.
the big balloon or whatever, if they have insurance, that would be acceptable, right? We're not asking,
and they will have insurance,
Yeah. they would just need to provide some type of insurance
Okay.
that says, hey, we have this covered, and if something were to happen, we're not liable
Yes,
for it.
sir.
It's theirs.
Okay.
So maybe that simplifies
Ms.
it.
Wolf handles all that. She can help us figure it out in our office, and so we'll work through it, and then we can if you can get me a contact name
Okay.
for
I will.
Gainesville, and we'll go, you and I can go sit down at the sheriff's office and figure that out.
Okay.
All right?
All right. Thank you
Yes, ma'am.
much.
Thank you. Any other discussion on that? Questions? All those in favor, aye. Discuss and take, I think that passed unanimously. Discuss and take action to approve Poppers in the Park, sponsored by the Women's Service Club on July the 4th. Jeremy Cook. Is there a motion on that?
Yes, I'd like to make that motion.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Have 2 seconds. Pick the one you want. Mr. Willis or Young. Any discussion on that? Any discussion from the public on that? You want to come up and say something about it? It's not that bad up here.
Let me go with what we discussed. They were going to pay the deposit, knowing that you write a check on Friday and you get it back on Monday. They're going to use our Port Johns and security. I was going to ask for an exception on security because the fire department and there's always Emory City police officers and our county police officers around the event. So waive the security fee, and they're going to do our Port Johns and pay the deposit. Is that what we discussed?
Yes.
Okay.
Dumpsters.
Excuse me?
Dumpsters.
Dumpsters.
Would we be able to use the county? Hello, my name is Janine Hayes. I live on County Road 2430. Women's Service Club. Dumpsters, will we be able to use the county dumpsters, or do we need to provide our own?
I think the dumpsters out there are part of the Good
The
Samaritans.
Mhm.
So I'm not sure that
They're very possessive.
I'm not sure that we have any say over them.
In the past, I've been able to use the ones at the annex. We've just traveled it up there, and then, one time, I don't know where Ronnie took, one time he picked the trash up for us, Road and Bridge, I don't know where they took it. And then we've been able to use the city, the big dumpsters out there at the city, out there, but that's just kind of what's part of our budget is, do we need to provide our own dumpsters?
What do you think, Joe? Can they just
How many dumpsters here are you going to need? Just one?
Not a roll, I mean, not that.
Janine, has it typically fit just in the dumpster behind the annex building?
It's-
Okay.
I don't know why, I don't know why you can't do it like you did in the past and just put it in if you carry it up there and put it in the dumpster.
And then, I had a question about the insurance. We did find the guy in Silver Springs, but they won't quote anything that far out.
Okay.
But I said, just a ballpark, just give me a ballpark figure. And he said anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 for the 4 hours. Anyway, that's just kind of part of the budget too.
That was and I'm not a pyrotechnician, but you said if they're Class C
We are Class C. We don't have to have we don't have to have that.
license.
Yeah.
Okay, don't have to have a licensed pyrotechnician.
No.
Why don't you let us do a little more homework on that before we make an official decision?
Okay.
Okay. Because I don't know. Do you have the gentleman's contact information from last year?
Yes.
Can you send it to me?
Oh, what last year?
The gentleman,
What guy? I mean,
the pyrotechnician.
Charlie Cook?
Yeah.
I don't have his, I might have his number.
Yeah.
Just wait a minute.
just send it to me along with a reminder about the pig trap, and we'll get it knocked out.
Must be the fireworks that's driving up the cost of the. Maybe we should help her find another insurance carrier.
Yeah, we can do some digging for you. But I can also understand the risk. I've never bought insurance for a fireworks display before, but I don't know. We'll check it out. So I'm gonna ask that we don't approve it today, but we'll get it knocked out at the next court. All right?
So we're going to table this one?
Yes, please.
Okay. So
You made a motion in a second, right?
Yeah.
You need to take a vote.
take a vote now. Yeah. All right, any other discussion? Public have any comments about it?
You good?
Did y'all approve it?
We're gonna postpone it by not voting on it, and we'll vote on it at the next commissioners court
Because
meeting.
of the insurance?
Yeah, we'll
We'll
try
just-
to help you out with the insurance, see if we can find somebody to do it cheaper. Make sure that the Class C versus, I don't know what the big dog fireworks are, but make sure that we're
I
covering all
don't
of
know
them.
how that got so weird last year, because we've never had we've always bought from Hooters, just right out of state.
Yeah.
We've never had protection on nobody, so.
Yeah.
Well, Mike was our first pyrotechnician.
That's
He was the
right.
very first one.
Maybe we put him out there.
No. I'm done. And I think you understand, but my position is if one of those things falls over and blows up a family, we're gonna be responsible for taking money from you to take care of those people. So we just wanna make sure we have all of our bases covered.
And I have those people, they're already in place.
Yep.
Are they vendors? Are these?
Vendors are, yeah, they're all in place, but the ones that explode the fireworks are, family.
So the vendors need to provide us insurance.
I don't think so.
Yeah. I need to look into that just a little bit more.
The vendors, like American Legion?
Possibly. I need to look into it. I need to ask someone about it.
Okay.
I don't think we're not concerned about the vendors there. We're concerned about the people firing off the fireworks.
Yeah.
I think is what you're saying.
Well, if our insurance covers the vendors, then it's not a problem. It's the ultimate thing is if there's a fireworks vendor there, is that what it's going to be? There's a fireworks vendor?
No, it's the guy popping off.
Oh, just the guy popping them off. Okay.
So we'll figure it out next quarter.
Okay,
Okay.
first of May.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'm not sure of the actual date, but 2 weeks from now.
Okay.
All those in favor, raise your hands. That motion fails. A no vote.
I move to be placed on the next agenda.
Okay, we have a motion for the agenda item number 6 to be placed on the agenda at the next regularly scheduled Commissioners Court meeting.
That'll actually be in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Not 2.
In 3 weeks. Is there a second for that? Have a
Second.
All those in favor? Aye, that passed unanimously.
See May 14th.
May the 14th. Motion, have on the agenda to discuss text dot requirements for property access off of state roads. Mr. Cook.
Yep. Came to our
Is there a
attention.
motion to discuss it?
Yes, please. I'll make that motion.
Second. All those in favor, aye? Please proceed.
One of our local developers brought it to my attention, so I reached out to Jason, who put me in touch with Bo Bennett with TxDOT. I thought we covered everything we could possibly cover in the subdivision guidelines 2 or 3 years ago. Well, a subdivision on a state road, TxDOT has some additional guidelines, so I asked Bo to come and bring us up to speed on what they require or what they would like to see and how the process would work in our subdivision approval process.
Okay.
Alrighty,
Please state your name.
yes, sir. I've never done this before, so bear with me. I'm Bo Bennett. I'm with Texas Department of Transportation over under Rains County Utilities and Permitting. So basically, like me and Jeremy talked about, TxDOT does have requirements. Basically everything in the TxDOT right of way is based on safety, whether that's spacing of driveways, site distance. So what we had spoke about is, and we ran into a couple problems, like on, if y'all are subdividing, basically I would like to, if a developer comes up here or a property owner and they want to subdivide, I would like to review like what's going to happen. I want to see a site plan, make sure it meets our standards that from the access management manual that TxDOT goes by, and so basically like refer them to me before doing the overall approval. That's what we do in Hunt County as well. So basically, I think Brian Toole, which I think is over economic development, he refers everybody, gives them my email and says, please coordinate this through Bo Bennett with TxDOT and receive an approval before everything's approved. I guess if that's in Commissioner's Court, however that's done. But that's basically any driveway, like it has to require a permit. But so say somebody buys a property on 69, just say they still, even if they're not subdividing, they still need to have a driveway access permit. If maybe you could just let them know, make sure you go through TxDOT for your access, and that goes for any state roads like FM, US, state highway, interstate. But I know there's not an interstate here. Another thing that I was just listening over what was being said is like any kind of parade, event, sign that's in TxDOT right away, that also requires a permit too. And that could be referred to me also because I'm typically over any type of permitting. So basically anything from telephone pole to telephone pole that's being done in the right of way, TxDOT regulates that, due to safety concerns, because if somebody runs and hits something, they could be liable, be sued if they like put in a culvert without SCTs and they hit it.
Right.
But basically it covers everybody whenever, they do everything as per TxDOT standards.
So what's the lead time on the approval of the parade in the public? Because this is a state highway out here, 69, right? So what's the lead time for them to get an approval?
When are they trying to do that? Sorry.
November.
That one there was in November.
Oh, that's
but
fine.
Are fireworks over a state highway permittable? Is that something that needs to be?
Where are you setting them up at?
Probably. Highways. They could shoot above 69. I'm just saying. Who knows?
I would.
You wouldn't mess with that.
I wouldn't shoot them at 69.
Well, you know how fireworks go, right? So.
Yeah. I'm saying like if y'all are doing like a lane closure.
No.
Okay.
No,
that's basically because like if you're doing a detour route, they want to make sure everything too. So like kind of like you said earlier, it's you'll be held liable if somebody runs through and kills a family. And like, oh, they just had a stop sign there. It's like, no, we need a whole detour that detours it on, which would be city streets or county roads, if that makes sense.
And I'm familiar with the permits to have road access on state highways and the culvert requirements and stuff like that. Are you saying that in addition to that requirement, that you can also maybe promulgate other your will over how the subdivision's laid out or formed, or what goes on there with TxDOT?
So say that, for instance, I'm not that familiar with the roads here. Y'all are I just spend most of my time in Hunt County.
Just pick a highway. Let's call it.
So
let's just say 19.
2795.
That'll work. 2795.
2795 and then 779. There was is that correct? That's an intersection, right? That way. Okay. So I think there was like 10 or 15 lots that were approved there. Well, I think the frontage of the lots were 150 foot. So then I was stuck with like, well, what do I do here? And I was trying to get everybody to do joint driveways, but it's really hard because they've already been purchased. Whenever I would have, if they proposed that to me before it was all sold, then I would have been issued the permit to the developer and said, this is where the driveways have to go. You need to be the one to install this because the permit's issued to you. And then after it's purchased, the driveway's already there. They know it's going to be a joint access, or this is where your driveway has to be.
Right. Yeah. That's a predicament.
Is that primarily because you require a certain distance from driveway to driveway?
Yes, sir. Like just for instance, like if a highway is 55 miles an hour and above, it's typically 425 feet. We know that it can't always be met, and a lot of people will say, well, hey, this one has 10 feet from it. Those are considered grandfathered in, but TxDOT's trying to regulate that now for safety guidelines.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And also if it's in a curve, like I run into that a lot also. It could be in a curve, so I might ask them to go stake it out in the field, because if there's, and that all varies on slope, the distance, the curve, whatever, but you can have somebody pulling out of the driveway and then it's no sight distance at all and run into and kill a family or something. So it's all, everything goes back to safety.
Or a hill.
So primarily anything like that, subdivision coming off of a state highway, you want to see the site plan prior to our approval.
Yes, sir. I mean, it's always a good act. I mean, just subdivision, or even such as like the Kim's convenience store that went in, just anything like big like that. Also, but if it's just like a regular property off of Highway 19, just make sure they're aware that, hey, we have to have a driveway permit, and it has to be up to state standards on these highways, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Jason, are we not doing that already?
I think y'all are. I
Okay.
I figured I'd just go over
Well,
everything.
there's one that we didn't do it on. If you had that problem over on 779, 2795.
Yeah, that was on the subdividing part, but
Yeah.
I knew there was some turnover, or I don't want to get into all that.
Oh, you don't. Yeah. Throw rocks. Yeah.
I was having trouble getting a hold of somebody. I didn't know who to contact.
Okay.
So I finally got a hold of Jeremy.
No, I was going to ask Jason. Can I ask you a question? Is there something that we need to work in our subdivision regulations that says if it's a subdivision off of a state road that we need to extend our minimum road frontage?
I think it would be good if we could amend our regulations to state that we work with TxDOT based off their road frontage. Well, I've worked with Bo several years, Hunt County, everywhere in these areas. He's very responsive, so it's not going to slow the process down. And a lot of times he does say if there's not adequate road frontage, I mean, we're not technically qualified to know the safety risk from those subdivisions. And unfortunately with TxDOT, I mean, Bo can probably attest to it. These subdivisions get done and they get stuck with tasking it because TxDOT normally doesn't limit access and say you can't get to your property. So it's kind of forcing the hand on them to try to figure out a solution after the fact, which we need to kind of get that solution figured out in advance prior to developing it. The one he was referring to was in 779 and 27, I think it's the Willis 3 edition. A lot of those were, some were pointing to that stop sign, but the other one, there's no stop sign on 2795 sign, so it goes directly. I mean, that's really like an acceleration through there, so I can see the dangers that Mr. Bennett was referring to. We shouldn't be tasking TxDOT for trying to figure out the safety. If we can submit it to them first, like I said, they're always very responsive.
Probably a lot of traffic in church.
Yes.
Across the road.
Yes, sir. So that's when Commissioner Cook had contacted me, and I referred him to Bo to speak on it. That would be something we want to look at, and making an amendment to our regulations. Our process or checklist could either require the developer, like Mr. Bennett suggested, to get the permits prior to the division, that's the county approving it, or at least have them in contact, because there are a lot of, in Hunt County, I've seen several plats where with the shared drive access. I think Mr. Bennett, that's probably due to the fact they were developed prior to TxDOT reviewing, and then that was the only solution.
Well, sometimes they're okay with, hey, if you're going to get on this close or you want this many lots, then they have to be adjacent or a joint driveways, and then the developer puts it in, so I'm not having to deal, or TxDOT's not having to deal with it later. And then this person and this person, they don't get along, and then it's just, I deal with it a lot. But either way, if y'all wanted to do it where before they approve, so the permit's good for 90 days. If Rains County wanted to do it where they need to have an approved permit prior to approval, or we could do it as approved site plan, but they need to be aware that they need to install these driveways prior to selling. Either way, whichever works best for y'all. And if there's a way that I can work with, or TxDOT can work with Rains County, we can also do whatever y'all recommend.
Jason, is that something you can write up and suggest to us, and then we'll mow through it and decide the best way to go?
Yes, sir. It'd be similar to what Hunt County does.
Yeah.
And, we do several, the same thing. The preliminary plat usually gets sent to Bo. Bo will actually send back specs typically, hey, how these things need to be done that you can share with the developers. Like you said, the permits, it's beneficial to everyone if the developer just, hey, here's your permits, you're good for 90 days, get these drives put in prior to selling, because some of those lots may sit for a year without selling the permits. And somebody comes up, I mean, he's seen it before, I've seen it. somebody goes up and just cowboys it up, puts their culvert in, and like, it's not TxDOT approved. I've seen Bo where he said, hey, you guys gotta pull that out and redo it. But it's a safety issue. It's not them trying to tell people what they can and can't do.
I can see that being a problem where you have, it expires in 90 days and then they go back and reapply later on and things have changed, maybe on the other side of the property. And now you're not meeting the 425-foot distance. And so unfortunately, I think you're stuck with that dilemma. After, maybe not for the first 90 days.
Right.
On decel lanes and stuff like that for acceleration lanes for commercial projects, I think we should also include that as a part of our conversation.
It also refers back to the access management manual or the roadway design. And there's certain links that they have to be, certain storage and
who pays for it.
Yes, sir.
Right.
So anything in TxDOT right away, basically just think about referring it to me. And if I can get the answer, I can try to lead you to the right direction or get somebody to get it on with y'all.
You know how we require the will serve letters for power and water? It wouldn't be a problem if we buttered to actually provide the permits with that as part of like the will serve type process of the application.
Yeah.
That way we can know that Lowe's already reviewed it and they've issued the permits. That burden does fall on the developer though to get those installed within that permitted time.
Is the cost of the revision of those plans included in any services that you currently provide to us, or would that be something we need to have a separate vote? It would be included.
It's
Okay.
minimal. It's minimal amount of time. Lowe's very responsible. Typically just
No, I mean with respect to revising our subdivision policies and then submit.
That's
part of it. Okay. All right.
And the permits are free. And
yeah,
but just give me 3 to 4 weeks typically, because I do them in the order they come in. So sometimes people are like, "Oh, why does it take that?" I'm like, "Well, I'm over 2 counties, so sometimes I usually try to dedicate 1 day a week to come to Rains County." So, but that's weather venting or whatever else they have me doing that week. So.
Things are hopping.
Yes, sir.
I think we should just ask Jason if he doesn't mind getting that amendment kind of put together in the wording that he'd like to see and bring it back to us, and let's figure out where to go forward and make sure we cover this.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thanks, Bill.
Thanks for coming out.
Here's a couple more cars.
Okay, thank you.
Some driveway permits, and if y'all need anything else, just email me.
Okay.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. So there's no further action taken on that, really. Next thing is to discuss and take action to approve the expenditure to update county website to ADA compliant per the Department of Justice. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
A second. Any discussion on it?
This is mandatory.
It is.
With a cost.
It does have costs. Mrs.
Oh.
Wolf, why don't you come up and explain to us what you've done to work on this? So.
Maybe. Is there a
Okay, I'm Diana Wolf and I work for the judge. So the standard package to just, to purchase the package is $9,500. The migration fee is $8,950. Now that migration fee is based on the number of pages. And I've been speaking with Rachel and we're trying to keep it 49 pages.
Rachel is Rachel, tell them who Rachel is.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel is with Sarah, which is part of TAC. And she's trying to keep it between 1 and 49 pages. If it goes over 49 pages, then the migration fee goes up. So we're trying to condense it. She sent several sites that we can use, or several examples of what the web page could look like. One was a Longhorn, one looked like it was out in the desert. The other was Bluebonnets, and it was really pretty, and that is pretty much the site we thought we would go with after the judge approves it. And then that will be on the main page, and then on the second page, it will be a new picture of the
courthouse, which looks really pretty with flowers out there right now. So we put that on the second page with the commissioners' page, pictures, and it's a pretty extensive process. It will take them about 3 weeks to do it. During that time, the only one that can post on the website is Sarah. No one else can post on it. That way they make sure that what is on one page or what's on one site is on the new site. So she said it's better to get this in now rather than later, because individuals will be pushing to get their websites updated later on in the year.
So to remind the court, we brought this up prior to the last budget season, and I believe we have money allocated.
Yes, there is money in the budget.
About 20,000 or more, maybe more than that for it. I don't remember that exactly now.
More than that.
Yeah, I think I pushed it. We estimated high, thinking that we may want to go third party. And then I'd also remind the court that we recently purchased copiers, and when we purchased or issued an RFP for the request to purchase copiers, we asked the vendors to include OCR capabilities on the machine, so that whenever things are scanned from the machine, like documents are scanned by the machine into our system, that they're automatically OCR'd, which is a requirement for the ADA requirement. What drives up the cost is that we have a lot of information. There will be two things that need to take place. One, we need to pare down what's on our website to whatever meets the preservation requirements that are set out by the state of Texas. Discard the things that we can legally eliminate, and then for the things that remain, all that data has to be OCR'd as well. So whatever the documents are that are out there, every bit of it has to be OCR'd. We are looking at, I think part of what was driving up the cost was the Barrett Solar Project. There's a lot of documents on that.
That is extensive.
That's extensive. So we may have to, in spite of what we said earlier, we may need to pare that back a little bit just to cut down on the cost due to the drawings and everything else that are there. But it's just something we're going to have to manage or be willing to pay for as we move forward.
And I keep getting document after document on the solar projects. So it could run the cost up significantly if we add everything to it.
So, but generally speaking, the conclusion I've come to is there are a lot of third-party companies that can do this. The challenge is we just don't have the horsepower in the county. I'm going to use horsepower as brain power, but administratively, it needs to be as simple as it can possibly be. Otherwise, it's going to cost a lot of money for us to have someone that come in here and maintain it. And I think in light of the fact that TAC was designed, TAC one of the their big selling point is that they can help small counties and governments that have low funding activity within their budgets. So I think going with someone like that just has routinely done this over time is good. The reason why we're trying to get ahead of it is I can just ask you, why are we wanting to do this now as opposed to waiting until
The longer
later?
we wait, the longer they're already getting requests. I looked at 17 different counties. I looked at their websites. The majority of those counties are going through Sarah and TAC to have theirs updated. The more counties they get, the longer we're just going to, if you're at the end of the list, it's going to take them longer and longer and longer to get to it.
So
the deadline's April of next year?
April of next year. Yeah.
And I will work with each department head to make sure that we have everything on the website that they require.
So since we have the money, we have the time. The time is now. That's why we want to do it.
Now's the time to do it. She can have it in 3 weeks.
Let me understand the migration. On this bid, it says that the one-time migration fee of $8,950.
That is correct.
And that's what you're asking. That's what we're spending today to do it.
Unless it goes about 49 pages, but she cut that cost for us. She did cut it down. It was like 12,000 or something, Casey. It was 12,000, and I was like, I don't know about that. And she came back and said, well, I can do it for the $8,950 if you do that number of pages, the 49 pages.
Judge, you got Miss McKenna here had a question.
Okay, please come up. Please come up to the mic, please.
Sorry, it was just, well, it's just my favorite. I was just curious in layman's terms what you guys are trying to accomplish. You're trying to transition your website into.
We're trying to comply with state law. The state of Texas has required every government entity to have a ADA compliant website. And what that means is, if you can just picture closing your eyes and trying to move around on the screen, what happens is a blind person can take their keyboard and move the cursor across the pages. So if it's scrolled across the page and it's scrolled on my page, or I'll use Jeremy's page, Jeremy Cook, it's Jeremy Cook, it's a bald-headed guy, no, it's Jeremy Cook. This is Jeremy Cook, he's the Commissioner of Rains County, Texas. He's sitting in Commissioner's Court, and it's speaking that back to them verbally. Or if it pulls up a document, and it pulls up this document, if this is a PDF that hasn't been OCR'd, it pulls it up and it doesn't say what it is. If it's OCR'd, the person can pull it up. And as they move the cursor across the screen, it would start at the top. You're at the top of page 2. The word, they highlight, discuss, and take action to approve the replat, blah, blah, blah. So that's what it's designed for. And it's a requirement that every state agency in the state of Texas has to have this in place by April.
And I'm going to say this real quick, just as a plug, because budget season's coming. Not saying this is not necessary. What I'm saying, this is just this is the hardest thing about budgets, is what we call unfunded mandates. The state says you have to do this, but we're not going to pay for it. And that's a big part of our budget, is things that the state legislature passes down and requires us to do, but we have to take the money from you to get it done. So
I understand. I was curious also, Yvonne, how many people have you asked to update your website? Like, we only went to one source to ask them what it would cost to do that, or we sourced this from multiple places?
Since it's currently with TAC, and TAC is Texas Association of Counties, they are typically the less expensive.
We haven't sought another party to do it.
That's what I'm curious.
But it's going to be north of 20. It'll be north of what we put in our budget, just based on my experience. The other compounding problem really isn't the initial cost; it's the administrative cost of it. And so with Rains County has TAC. Are you familiar with TAC? It's Texas Association of Counties. TAC provides a lot of services to Rains County. They provide our insurance. It's hands down cheaper than anything we can go out and buy in the marketplace. And so they're just set up to do it, as opposed to us having to go and hire. If we obtain another website that has to be where we have to have someone on staff that can actually run websites, provide the coding that's necessary to go and get this work done. Administratively, long term, it's going to cost us a lot of money. Right now, the administrative cost of that website is around $1,200 to $1,500 a month, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the overriding reason to. For me, it's the overriding reason to just stick with what we have, as opposed to trying to get creative.
Because they will administrate it.
They're helping us administrate. They're already hosting our. They're hosting our Microsoft licensing. They're hosting our website. They're hosting all of that. So that everything that happens there is, and we're paying them a fee to do that as well. So the more you move that stuff away to someone else, like we have an IT guy named Jeff Post. If we move it over to Jeff Post, that's just going to increase his cost. And then when you look in the county, we have Christy Hopkins, maybe 3 people in the county that can actually go in there and utilize even the existing system that we have now. And I just don't see anyone else in the county, which we're going to try to go away from that, but I just don't see anyone else in the county that's really going to take this and own it, that has the time to really make sure that it's done properly. Having said that, my dream world would be, let me go get what I really want, which is going to cost a lot more than this. Give us the person to manage it and kind of drive the ship, if you will. And it looked more like Ector County. But in light of the fact that, we have roads to fix, potential dog facilities that need to be
That's
funded.
honestly why I asked. I heard $9,000 to transition the website, and I was like, okay.
Well, it's what happens here. Like Commissioner Young said, the state comes out with these rules, and one of our requirements as a body here is we're going to comply with all federal, state, local laws. And if we don't comply with the law, then we're in breach of that, and we could be subject to our own problems. So we have to do.
The additional context.
You're very welcome. And there's a lot of those things. The sheriff's department has an immense number of them. The state of Texas has requirements for us to go and maintain. I guess they reimburse us for that. They run the right way. You have to maintain roads that lead to grave sites and so forth. So there's all these rules that we have to live by, and then they don't give us ways to pay for them, but they tell us that we have to go and do it. And if you don't go do it, it's a violation of the law. Any more questions on that from the public or anyone? When the growth can get big, maybe we'll have something different. But there's nothing wrong with the website that we currently have. It's just the migration is simply whatever is sitting on there right now on our website that resides there has to be converted in a form where it can be ADA compliant. And then whatever else goes on there has to be in that same form. So you can imagine having to code images and pictures, and the more of that stuff that we put on there, the more administrative cost that's going to be to figure out how that's all going to work. And that's not something that I'm not sure if that'll be included in their contract or not long term. If we start throwing a lot of images on there.
Judge, at the top of this website, there's a space about that wide, and it allows you to put in there if there's a burn ban, and it just rotates. Commissioner's court, burn ban, whatever information you need. And I think that would be very helpful to the more mature individuals that look at the website.
Yeah, the site might not be as glamorous in some respects as it could be, just to the ADA compliant part of what I attended the seminar here at the last judges conference that I attended, and that was kind of the take that I got from it. And then with respect to the copy machines, those are supposed to have been delivered this week, correct?
This week.
So the other key is that the more we have to have everything has to be OCR. So it's either going to be done through the machine or it'll have to be done through software, and there could be some other costs that we have to incur there to get it to convert a PDF like this. If we were just to scan this in something that couldn't, or with a machine that did an OCR, if you scan this in, then before this goes into the website, it would have to be converted in OCR so that that it can be read by someone that is blind. Any more discussion or questions about that? All those in favor of approving this, please raise your hand. Aye, that passes unanimously. Discuss and take action to approve official bond note for Commissioner Lori Northcutt.
Move to approve.
Motion
Second.
Approved, second by Commissioner Young. Any discussion? All those in favor, aye. Any questions from the public about that?
Did you skip number 7?
No, but
No.
okay. Discussion on the website. We just put on the website.
Number 7 is a text dot requirement.
You were sleeping.
I was sleeping.
That was discussion only.
I was when you said Lori, there was
Well, I've been known to skip it. So thank you.
just testing you.
Thank you. Discuss and take action approving the county's participation in tax cybersecurity training program.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor, aye. That's a recurring thing that we've done, I guess, pretty much over here. Discuss and take action discuss and take action to open seal request for proposal on the subdivision coordinator. I have a motion for that. I'll make that in the form of a motion. Second. I'd like to point out one thing too. Well, first let's just open the bid packages. Where are they at?
In your packet,
They're up here? Oh, there it is. You're right. While she's opening this,
There's only one bid received, sir.
there's only one bid. Okay. What we did this time around, because we had a local company that had voiced some concerns about how we were approaching the consulting services that are being provided to us by Jason. And so out of an abundance of caution this year, we elected to publish this in the newspaper, and that publication went for
Your rented for 1 week and it was placed into March 26th.
So we ran it for 1 week. We received apparently only one bid. And we did that, one for public transparency, one and two, to address the concern that was raised to me in my office with respect to the approach that we were taking for the letting of this. We made sure that TriPoint and Jason understood what was going on, and we also sent out invitation requests to those that we felt like would bid on it, which would have also included which would have been in addition to the publication itself, and we've only received one response where a bid was timely submitted. We have received a supplemental request that essentially more or less articulates that perhaps the other party would bid on projects just by the job, but doesn't really meet the bid specs that we have, and it wasn't timely submitted. So I'll let you read the results.
Okay. Compensation of $18,000 per year, which would be paid out in monthly installments of $1,500 per month, which is the same price that we are doing this fiscal year.
Okay. So
that's from Jason Jarrett.
That's from Jason Jarrett. Let's see if it has the insurance requirements that are required. Did you look at the insurance? No, you didn't look at it because we just now got it. Yeah, so let's see here. It has $1 million of liability insurance with a $2 million cap. It has professional liability insurance. Yep, professional liability insurance of $500,000, which is something I've requested, or Ms. Wolf had requested as part of our bid. It includes Rankin County's additional insured. And it also has the workers' comp insurance of $1 million. These are all things, as you may have seen from previous discussions, when we now have a standard form of contract that has been approved by our council, which is being used today, that always requires insurance. And because this is a professional service, we ask for the parties that did bid on this to provide that. And this is a 1-year term, renewed annually by agreement of both parties. Anyone would like to look at it before you vote on it?
Yes, I'm good.
Okay. Did you have any other concerns or comments?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in light of that, is there a motion? We have a motion and a second. Ready to vote? Any questions from the public? All those in favor? Aye.
What did we awarding it to Jason Jarrett?
Yeah, we're going to award it to the sole bidder, Jason Jarrett.
Okay. That was the motion?
That was, well, no, it actually wasn't. I didn't hear another motion.
I didn't hear the motion.
Yeah. So
I move that, I'll make that motion, Jason Jarrett.
Okay, we have a motion to award the bid for
subdivision coordinator.
Item number 11 to Jason Jarrett. Let me make sure that's who actually contract is made out to.
Is that your business name?
Jarrett Commercial Properties.
Jarrett Commercial
To
Properties.
Jarrett Commercial Properties, in accordance with the terms and provisions of this small services contract agreement. Is that your motion?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Have a second? Let's vote on that one first. All those in favor, aye. And then let's go vote on the other one. The first one, which was the original motion to consider it. All those in favor, aye. That one carries too. All right, so we're good to go on that. We'll move on to the next one. Discuss and approve the county judge to negotiate, execute, and enter into an interlocal agreement with Rains County Volunteer Fire Department to assist them in the purchase of radio and related equipment in the amount of $84,950, which is to come from account number 002-1001-59997. I put that on the agenda, so I'll make that in the form of a motion to approve it. Is there a second?
Second.
Have a second. And then would you mind explaining, Jeremy, what this is about?
No, this, so the fire department and the sheriff's department, everybody needed new radios. We got a pretty good sized grant for a new tower and a whole new communication system. It was going to put the fire department in a bind to buy radios that would work on this system. So a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, a couple of the volunteer firemen came up and did a presentation to the solar folks to say, hey, we could use some money. The solar folks granted them a check for $84,950, but they wrote it to the county. So we're just taking the money that the solar farm gave us and giving it back to the fire department so they can buy some radios.
Like it.
All right. Any questions on it? Does the public have any questions about it? All those in favor? Aye, that passes unanimously.
Do you want me to take care of the purchase order or Casey?
I'd love for you to do it.
Okay.
Unless you don't have the time for it.
No, I can do that.
Okay. Thank you so much. Discuss and take action on the attached resolution which adds additional fiber optic to the Hill building.
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. That passes. Discuss and take action to vacate County Road 1422. This is placed on here by Commissioner Northcutt. And I don't know much about it, so.
Ronnie, can you give us a background, please?
You want to motion to discuss it?
Yes.
I'll second the motion. All those in favor? That passes unanimously. Please come on up, Ronnie.
We thought he was going to get by.
Well, I thought I was going to get by, I tell you.
Come on, Rain Man.
Okay, so this county road, 1422. Is that what's on the agenda?
Mhm.
1422. Okay.
1422.
Okay. That's in Hermit's Cove. A while back under previous commissioner, one of the residents had went ahead and filed for abandonment of the road, vacate the road way back when. They posted in the newspaper, and I believe we had a court hearing on that as well. I don't know if it made it to the court hearing, but anyway, since then, 20 years has elapsed, and the county has not done anything to that county road, 1422. The history of that Hermit's Cove, if you look at the restrictions, the county wasn't supposed to do anything to any of those roads, and that's in the restrictions filed when the subdivision was filed. So all we're doing is just making it official from way back when. We haven't maintained the road, which gives us the grounds to abandon and vacate that road because we've done nothing to it in 20 years. So that's the background.
We had an email from Lori, but it was a statement from property owners, I guess, adjoining that road, that they were in agreement. So.
Okay.
Not going to cause any problems?
Not that we're aware of. Like I say, there's structures and everything has been existing for more than 10 years on that road. So
On the road itself or just adjoining it?
it's over the road itself from way back when. So
that's
possession is 9/10, right?
Well, it's well, not, yeah, maybe not. I want to opine on that, but it's certainly a problem. All right. Anything else? All those in favor?
Well, we voted to discuss it. We need to vote to vacate.
Okay, so while we're discussing it, I do have one other request for Hermit's Cove, and I brought this up to Corey, is I'd like to, we have the plat where we approved the roads that Rains County was willing to maintain, that's filed a record at the county clerk's office. You provided my office with a copy of that. I'd like to take Hermit's Cove and take a plat that depicts the roads that we're maintaining out in and around Hermit's Cove and give that to the sheriff's department, give a copy to my office and one to every commissioner, so that whenever someone calls from Hermit's Cove wanting us to go out and do something on a road, we can clearly and articulately describe for them what we are going to do and not do, and just put a silence to the idea that we're going to maintain these private roads. So unless there's been another adoption from that 2004-2006 timeframe where we went through that approval process, that's what I'd like for you to do for
That was the inception of those roads that are maintained in there, and they're just pieces of those roads because that subdivision has not been completely developed. It is undeveloped subdivision.
Right. So that's whatever whatever the story is, I'd like to just say, here's the packet.
Right.
Here's our policy on it, and end the calls to the sheriff's department. Because I don't know anything about it. Okay. Make it as articulate and as descriptive as you possibly can.
And it was inception due to the jury review that was accepted in 2006 and the accepting of the map of all county maintained roads. And that is the ground, what we stand on legally. We don't have to do anything else for any other road in Hermit's Cove at this point. We are not legally bound or anything else. We don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I agree with the statement about the 2006 policy. Yes, ma'am?
I'm not very knowledgeable, but I'm Vicky Adams, and I live off of 1425 in Hermit's Cove.
Okay.
And they, took what
Do you want to come up here, please?
I don't know how this works, but anyway.
State your name, please, for the record.
I'm Vicky Adams, I live at 199 Range County Road 1425 in Hermit's Cove.
Okay.
And they took a road with Bob Dean. I own 58 lots in it. And I don't plan on developing or doing anything with it at this time. But they took and made that Bob Dean Road a private road.
Who's they?
Miss Northcutt. I called 911 and they said that she was the one that okayed that, I believe either November the 3rd or the 9th. But I don't want those roads to be just knocked off of the map.
Well, to be clear, to help, well, Ronnie, what's up with that road real quick before I answer?
Private road 55.
1425.
Okay, it's only a certain amount of distance that we have. It's about 3/10 of a mile is all we take care of. And that's all that was approved in the map in 2006 on that road. We don't go all the way and curve and go back to the end of where the house is. We don't go all the way to there. We only go 3/10.
So the way this works is if you can have private roads and you can have county roads. The plat that for Hermit's Cove, from what I understand, has roads that are depicted on it. And then those roads may or may not have been used by the public, by the people that live out there that have purchased those tracts of land.
Well, like I said,
But the county doesn't have any authority over private roads. We can't control private roads. The county commissioners can't. The landowners can go and sue each other. They can go do whatever they want to go do to fight among one another in court to satisfy whatever desires or concerns they have. But the county can only govern what we have agreed to maintain and control. And so with respect to Hermit Coves, it's a very finite amount of area in roadway length that we've agreed to maintain. And that's the confusion. It's like you look on a map and you see that that's a road. Well, everyone thinks it's the county, but in order to satisfy all the problems that existed prior to 2000, it started in 2004 and it was actually, the two-year period ended in 2006. To satisfy all the concerns of all over the state where people were having problems with what does the county maintain, what does it not maintain. In 2004, the county, Rains County, published a list, and it's in the courthouse there in a little blue folder that sits on top of the books there where the reverse and direct indexes are, that said, okay, public, these are all the roads we're going to maintain. And they're all listed here, and they're all depicted in a color. And so then for 2 years, people could come and complain. We went through a court process, Rains County did. And then finally in 2006, after considering all the concerns and complaints that people had, we adopted the roads that we were willing to maintain. And so if those roads are not depicted in that book, or if there have been new roads later on that have come after that, for which we have not voted on and agreed to maintain, then he can't maintain them legally because we went through the process to say that we weren't going to maintain them. And that's the confusion at Hermit's Cove that keeps people upset. So they're upset at us when in fact we have nothing to do with it. And so I'm just trying to make that my goal as a judge is to be as clear as I can, be respectfully so, in the sense that, we can only do what we can do. And in this case, we just can't come in and take someone's private road. It's against the law for us to take land.
Not knowledgeable about any of this. But then when it was laid out,
A developer laid it out. We didn't lay it out. Yeah. So they did.
But how can you go in there and mark that a private road?
We don't mark them private roads.
Okay,
It's a
maybe
private
I'm
road.
not using the right words.
Yeah, a road is private unless it's a road. Wait, they can have all kinds of roads, but a private road. If I have a gate on my ranch, when you enter my ranch, that's a private road, right? It becomes a public road whenever I allow people to go through that gate and cross onto another piece of land. That makes it over time legally. That makes it a public road. And so that's what you're dealing with out there. You have private roads, and you have public roads, and you have roads that are maintained by the county.
I think what Ms. Adams is trying to state here is the difference between the neighborhood road and a private road. It is a neighborhood road and it's filed with the county clerk as a road with a name on it, if I'm not mistaken. If you look back on the Herman's Code, you'll see it. Now, someone is saying that's a private road, but in fact, what was probably filed back in 1960 on the plat, it was probably road, yeah. That's probably what they named that name.
That's the confusion, but that was up to the developer that developed that, and not Rains County. So,
and then whoever wants to file against it, it would have to be.
a county road has a number on it,
Correct.
right?
I
So
understand that.
that's the deal there. So
But
that
what I'm asking is how did Bobine Road become, 45, 25 or something like that, 54, 25?
it must have been on that. It must have been on that plat. Beyond what's ever on that plat, I'd recommend you just go talk to a lawyer about it, because we can't give advice about it. But generally speaking, just hypothetically, not hypothetically, but historically speaking, that's what we've come across.
Actually, I think it was just through ETCOG, through 911 addressing. They just said, all right, we got to know how to get to this house that's not really on a road. So it's private road 4552 now, or 4525.
Right. And that's probably how it did. And it didn't go through this court to get that approved to change that subdivision road, that neighborhood road.
Like again, I said, I'm not knowledgeable. Does that make that whole road?
You need to ask a lawyer about that. I can't tell you about the private part of it. I can only tell you that whatever's in that book there at the courthouse, that's colored as the
It
roads.
only shows 3/10 of that road on 1425, and then the road up above it, where the other house is where you're referring to. That says it's like 5526 county private road, but that's something that is out of our jurisdiction. It'll have to be back to the property owners to file against it and say this is wrong. And then 911 didn't coordinate with 911 why that occurred.
Good news is though, 1425 goes past your driveway, so you're good.
Yeah, but I have 50 lots behind it and 2 roads that run between it and around it.
Yeah.
Well, I tried to end a lot of confusion, and I went to every road in Herman's Cove and went by that book in 2006, and I put county maintenance end sign on every single road in there. That way, the citizens knew this is all that we're obligated to mess with. Anything beyond those signs.
Yeah, let's get the plat.
Yeah.
Let's hand it out. Make sure that she gets a copy of whatever you produce. Okay. So at least she'll have it. If there's any question beyond that, I'd recommend you go talk to a lawyer if you're concerned about other property rights that you have, because we can't address those up here in the court.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay. All right. Is there a motion do we want to take any action on that? Motion to approve it. All those in favor?
I'll make a motion that we approve vacating County Road 1422.
Okay, there's a motion to vacate 1422. Second. There's a second. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? Aye. That passes. Discuss and take action on passing resolution supporting legislation to improve county road infrastructure and safety by Lori Northcutt. Is there a motion on that?
Move to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
I think this is just a resolution to encourage the state legislature to participate more in road improvement and infrastructure and safety in the next legislative session.
That's my understanding as well.
That's it.
All those in favor? Aye. The last thing on our action items is to discuss and take action to approve the transfer of the remaining budget from Motorola lease purchase account to Road and Bridge materials account. This is a motion that I placed on the agenda, so I'll make it in the form of a motion to approve it.
Second.
Jointly with I would blame her some for it too, but I'll take the responsibility for it. We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion on that? There's about 100 and...
Would you just explain that real quickly?
Absolutely.
Thank you. All right, due to all the grants that Mrs. Hopkins has been working on, we did not have to make the full lease purchase payment. So there is remaining budgetary authority of $163,922.42. As you know, the judge gave Ronnie Morgan a challenge, and Ronnie met that challenge. There was also some storm damage in the amount of $161,611. Is that still the right dollar amount, Corey?
Yeah, that was it, huh?
Okay. And that was unexpected and not scheduled for payments, or not on the regular maintenance schedule. So we were just looking for some funds available to help out Road and Bridge Materials because they are down to around $67,000 in road materials currently. Was that the right dollar amount, guys? Or did it go up?
He wants more.
Hi, this is Ronnie. I'm your road and bridge administrator over in County. I live over in off a point, off in the area of Point. That 67,000 is it, and then I have some of the roads that I've given you a list of the roads at the beginning of the year, budget time last year. We will continue to work on that list because we allocated, like she said, over $161,000 repairing damage from storms. So we're asking to have that replaced to continue regular maintenance on the roads that were on the list at the beginning of the year in the budget time when we set that up to utilize those funds.
Which was so the 161,611 was for 2.78 miles of road, and then what's the total of road repair? Like not just pothole repair, but just overall year to date, budget year to date. Do you have that number?
Yeah, it's a little over 11 miles is what we've improved, whether it's overlaying and most of it, and then there's a couple of roads that we're rebuilding with that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that's in that 11.19 miles. We're somewhere around $850,000 invested into that 11.19 miles. What's going to happen with this money, which I'm sure you're fixing to ask anyway, where's this money going that I'm asking for? You'll see that we have additional roads, 3422, that we've told residents that we're going to do some serious work and upgrade, or not upgrade, but do some major repairs on the road. You'll see that that's in precinct 3. You also see that you have a 1190 is also in that mix. County Road 4450, which is also in precinct 3, and 1190 is in precinct 4. You'll have another 3332, which is in precinct 2, and then some more work on 1610, and that'll pretty much resolve and use the money that I'm asking for now.
I have a request of you. You've done exactly what you met the challenge, as far as I'm concerned. You met my personal challenge, and to go out and show us what you could do with the 2 additional employees that we gave you, that we approved, the Commission Court approved, and the utilization rate, I'm sure, of your equipment's far higher than it's been historically. But what I was thinking was, in light of what's been done and recognizing that budget year's coming up, as a part of this approval process, just as a favor to the court, if you could just get with each commissioner, and maybe you and Corey, take them around and show them where their money went, where the money went in their areas, and then show them so that they can evaluate the quality of the work that was done, where it was located, and you can get feedback from it so that you'll have in the upcoming budget year, it'll give them more transparency as to where your work has been done, and then explain the road material that went on it. Basically just give them a one-on-one lesson of how you've taken care of them in their areas.
Yeah.
Is that possible?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
All right. If they don't want to go, I guess that's up to them. But I would say for Mike's area, if you want to, if some of the others want to ride along, that's fine. That would be cool too.
Oh, yeah.
The people that run for office.
Absolutely.
All right. And then lastly, I wanted to point out, I have met I did privately go and meet with Christy Hopkins to go over a little bit of tit for tat when you start pulling money from different areas. And so just to make sure there wasn't any hard feelings, I have met with the Sheriff's Department, with Sheriff Hopkins, and also met with Christy just from a grant writing standpoint. So we all understood and all agreed that this was the right way to proceed. So no one's being disenfranchised by the movement of this money. From what just to limit, just to create good communication was what we did it for. So everyone's on board on that side with it, and I appreciate the commissioners vote for it today. All those in favor? Aye. So that passes unanimously. Thank you very much, guys. Nothing on executive session. And I can't think of any proposed agenda items. Do you guys have anything that you want to consider?
We added one by motion.
Oh, that's right. We added one by motion to do
There's the poppers in the park.
Poppers in the Park bill. Yeah. All right. So with that, motion to adjourn.
So
I'll
moved.
make the motion.
Everybody vote yes. We're done. A little longer than Mike wanted.